Hello everyone, welcome to ESL TV for the Battlefield 4 Spring 2014 group stages. I'm Jason Kaplan, joined by the lovely Pansy. How are you doing today?
I'm pretty good. I'm really excited about this. Looking at the way the last group stages went down, this is going to be an incredible couple of days coming up. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to see how these guys do because this is now crunch time.
It is, and we saw so many teams really step up last season. We'll get to those obviously in a little bit, but let's go and take a look at the general group stages for you guys at home. We're going to be doing Group A for you today with Fnatic, Planetkey, Dynamics, InFamouS, and Wartime. And obviously Group B will be coming up on Wednesday with Epsilon, Pyrogen, Exacquio, and Team Unitas. That's what I'm going to call him, Unitas. And I want you to watch the Group C here because to me, that's the most stacked one.
That's the stacked group, isn't it? That's the group of death right there. MYM, Dignitas, ESC, and Isuba. And that'll be on Monday. So that's going to be a really hard bracket to get out of, or at least a hard group, essentially. Because every single team there can do some just incredible, incredible damage. MYM, great team. Solid offline performances. Let's just keep that in mind. Dignitas, hit and miss sometimes, really on point. Sometimes not quite there. ESC, certainly an underdog, and Isuba, exactly the same can be said, but the same can be said for every group here as well.
Yeah, and the funny thing to me is Group B, there's something really special in there with Pyrogen and Exacquio. Pyrogen actually beat them last season into the groups, and actually with that, went through to qualify into obviously the offline finals. So there's a lot of bad blood in there, but I like how you touched on Dignitas a little bit. They've been looking very sketchy to me the entire groups. Yeah, very hit and miss.
Even Dogbert, I think, has said they've made a couple of changes. They've been really stepping up their game, but there's still work to be done. They had a big reputation coming in from Battlefield 3. Everyone kind of eyes on them very early on. But they're getting there. They're certainly on the road to, getting to a very respectable point. But, that's a hard group to be in for anyone.
It takes a long time to get that synergy back.
Oh, God, yeah.
But speaking of that synergy, funny enough, because we're going to be doing Group A today, so we can share that a little bit more in depth here. Fnatic, obviously bringing in Drunks to the team, X against the Authority member. They've been looking pretty damn good, I have to say.
Yeah, obviously Winghaven now not being within the side, more of a backup role. He's, Drunk's been a great addition. He was part of the team that always threatened them. And picking him up, obviously removes that threat at least. And Drunk's been playing a great position. And watching Fnatic recently, they've changed a little bit. They don't look like the Fnatic we previously saw. They look a little bit more well-rounded. And I think, a lot of people doubted their performances, but then you have to take into account they came out, flying from the off-start, and then everyone else has stepped up. It's not that they've gotten worse. They've, kept on this really good, steady incline, but everyone else has kind of shot up as well. So initially it was UMAV in the previous season, but now there's so many teams that can challenge them. So, Fnatic, still a big heavy hitter, finishing, I think, second overall in the rankings. Very solid team. And the rest in this group, I think that it's easy to overlook these teams, but InFamouS and Planetkey towards the later cups in the last couple of rounds, they started to really pick up some interesting results. So two teams really worth looking out for. I haven't seen a lot of Wartime, to be fair.
Yeah, that's...
So, a team probably to keep your eyes on, but for me, it's all about this first game coming up that we should be watching.
Yeah, that's the thing about Wartime. I mean, we can't count anyone out because if you remember, Pyrogen, 16th coming into the groups last season.
Very good point.
Came out second place overall.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing here. Everyone can do well on the day. You only have to be playing on point in a couple of maps. And the one thing that I noted with InFamouS when I watched them last, they're extraordinarily strong on very specific maps. As in, they challenge Epsilons, Fnatics, but only on those very specific few maps. Now, if they've increased that pool that they're feeling comfortable in, and they can kind of replicate what they were doing on the others, team to be looking out for. And then Planetkey Dynamics have always been hot on the heels of the others. Towards the end of the first season, they were certainly getting into their own and really starting to challenge and worry some of the bigger teams when the likes of UMAV and Fnatic broke out on their own. They started to catch up a little bit. And they may not have had that season this time, but they're certainly getting there, and they're a team that could go through with the right situation in hand.
Yeah, they're very consistent, at least. I mean, they're maybe not really flashy. They don't really get like the major upsets sometimes that you'll see, but they will consistently do well. They placed 6 coming into this with 110 points. The highest finish for them was actually semifinals in the second cup, where they lost to Epsilon. And Epsilon's another team that's just playing so damn well.
First in the season, they stepped up, very new team kind of thrown together that a lot of people doubted. A lot of people said, oh, they're just a glorified mixed team. They're not going to do anything. And they came out and, well, you've seen what they can do. Very talented team. So going out to them in the semifinals, nothing to be ashamed of. And obviously doing quite well to get there is still something you can be proud of.
To say one thing, though, and this may be a little bit shot towards someone in particular, but they did it without Meg this time. And, I mean, obviously it sounds a little bit weird, but it's actually a huge thing because they had to use Mayak in the group stages last time to actually get into the offline finals.
Yes, and I think a lot of people kind of drew their conclusions away from that, let's just say. I think we should avoid the topic in general.
I'm not trying to touch it too far, but I just want to point out that they've done so well
yes,
for this entire season without that key player that they used so many times, obviously in the prior. But obviously the first game of the day that we're going to be kicking off for you will be InFamouS versus Wartime Dignity. We're going to drop you into the game actually right now since we have them kind of warming.
Dynamics.
Yes. Wait. Yes. Wow. I have them in the wrong order. You were very right there. Thank you for that one, Lauren.
No worries. I like proving you wrong. That's literally my main duty in life. But yes, game's not live just yet. We can take you through the map pool that we will be seeing. It's still a best of 3, so very similar to the Cups. If you're not aware of it, it's very simple to explain. It's domination, and you get the first half, you try and walk away with the advantage of as many tickets remaining as possible, and that gets translated to the second half. So either you can look at it as a team going with the plus of those many tickets, or a minus away from the opposing side, whichever you find easiest. And the first map, as you can see, will be Dawnbreaker. Brilliant map, very basic battlefield in an infantry term, let's say. And then following that, we've got Siege of Shanghai and Storm as the decider if needed. And I feel as though this could go 3 maps.
I think this is probably one of the few games in this group that could, as we were discussing a little bit earlier on.
Yeah.
Like these two teams, obviously, like you said before, very evenly matched. You mentioned, InFamouS. They have a good set of core maps that they can challenge the best teams at, like Epsilon. But they need to improve on that, and we're going to find out, obviously, with Dawnbreaker, which I actually did watch one of their VODs from Cup 1 come into the show today against Pyrogen, where they just completely walked over them the first half. It was like 119 tickets to 0.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with these French teams, but they get to this point and they all just become absolute monsters towards the end stage of these Cups. And InFamouS is one of those teams that a lot of people doubted, not necessarily doubted, but they didn't know of them as much. And they just came out and they really showed what they're made of. And just take you guys through the lineups. Obviously, for InFamouS, it's Zuzu, Kremer, Heist, Tony, and Grim. For Planetkey Dynamics, it's Tom, Jera, Scene, Outsider, and Nosy. So everyone knows Jera. I think we can leave him to himself. But the rest, very talented. Maybe not as renowned as, let's say, some of the other teams here so far. Everyone knows Fnatic now. Everyone knows your Epsilons. But these guys have been kind of mid-table, you know what I mean? They're the ones that everyone kind of doesn't look at directly, but they're the ones that start getting these really big results in and start, turning heads towards the end. And that's what they've been doing quite recently, is they've been getting towards those semi-finals. They've been challenging the likes of Epsilon, especially for InFamouS. And, watching them against Pyrogen was very, very decisive, let's just say, because, at the start it was like, InFamouS, I'm not sold. They're not the team that we expected, but they started to really build momentum, and once they got that, they were really, really on point. So I think we are just about ready to get underway into Dawnbreaker. The teams seem ready. I think we were just waiting for the restart to come in. So your thoughts towards this?
Honestly, I agree with you. 3-mapper. It's definitely going to be. And one thing that I like to see is Siege of Shanghai, actually, because we saw it finally come to life at the end of last season when we were in the offline finals. But since they switched around that beast, and obviously they fixed quite a few things coming into this. And I really want to see, who's going to be strong on these maps. Who has been practicing on it? Because obviously last time in the groups, we saw Pyrogen step up, ESC taking out Against All Authority. So many teams out of nowhere just using this time that they've had since the last Cups have finished to really buckle down and get things fixed.
So just to give you an idea of who's on which side, it'll be PKD on the US side, InFamouS will be on the Chinese side, and I want to see if they go for that straight up boost here, and it does seem as though they are. So they should be getting a nice little run in towards that B site, and I want to see what they can bring out of the stops here, because InFamouS actually ran with some very unique tactics on this one, and it looks like they're going for the full boost. So actually everyone will be joining. We are live into this, and as you can see, just around the corner, everyone will be going towards this B site. They're running in right now, and I just love this initial exchange, and at the moment, look at this position taken up on the street from the PKD side, not challenging immediately, and actually playing for the retake rather than the challenge.
Yeah, that's usually the pivotal point of the game, just in the beginning. The fact if one team, obviously over on the Chinese side, can get there quick enough and not get wiped out, they can hold on to B, get that early AB cap, and really apply that pressure. And as you see, we already have one man up there towards the north side. It's going to be Scene, actually watching over towards that B's flag. And right now, you're seeing Grimjaw right now. He's just they're just waiting. It's not really a rush game right here. And there's one thing we have to mention in these group stages that's a little bit different from last season, is the fact that there is no fourth group. It's only top 12 teams. Yep. And because of that, only one team qualifies out of the groups, and the second place team, and I believe the third place, actually, no, sorry, it's 2 teams from each group, but the third place team actually goes into Group D, which is obviously accumulation of the losers of all the groups, and you have a chance to qualify from there.
Yeah, and it's going to be a hard battle to fight for any team. And right now we are seeing a 2-1 hold in favor to Planetkey Dynamics. They picked up the A and the B site, but you're seeing InFamouS focusing on this catwalk section. They won the 1v1, allowing Zuzu to get into a nice overlooking position to try and challenge onto B, allowing his teammates to get the cover they need to claim that site and push the other team back just towards A. But they do have Jera in a great spot here. He can split down once he gets those respawns towards C, which is exactly what he's doing. And if this is not defending well, it could be a 2-to-1 hold back in PKD's favor.
Yeah, we did see over towards the C flag, Crema. He's actually just sitting back. He was waiting forever for this push that is coming finally onto the C flag. He has Outsider up against him. You've seen Jera right now getting naded to hell right now as they're trying to capitalize off this, looking towards that catwalk section. And it looks like they will be able to get the neutralize on it. Also, potentially there's Tri-Cap coming in here.
Yeah, and that's not exactly ideal for InFamouS. They've been really thrown out. They've been giving away so much of the advantage to this point. Zuzu now having to come right back around towards C. Look how far back he's had to go. This is unbelievable for this man. Really having to fall back quite far. And now the rest of InFamouS have to just kind of throw themselves together, focus on which side they want to take. They're kind of splitting themselves up here, though. They're sending a couple down to C, leaving one man on B. And Tony's doing the singular action, but he's not going to get it off in the end, as Inozi will pick him up from the inner catwalk. And C still being battled over. Crema finally picking up, but with 2 men against him, he's not going to be able to hold on to that. And PKD really chiseling away a solid advantage at the moment at 130 tickets to only 111.
What I'm wondering is, Lauren, is this PKD showing a little bit of disrespect towards InFamouS? Because, I mean, they are tri-capping them. They are just winning out the duels 1v2 in some situations. They're going, obviously, for the big point in the beginning, but they are completely just winning out on these duels. We can take a look at the kills overall. It's currently 20-9 in favor of PKD. I mean,
that's pretty damn big.
It's back to basics in Battlefield. If you can't kill someone in a 1v1 situation, you're not going to cap the flag. You're not going to pick up the win. And right now, PKD are looking phenomenal. We have Jera currently 9-1.
Oh, wow. Jera then picking that nice little 2-piece, even following up with the Magnum afterwards. That was perfect play from him. And you may say it's disrespectful, but it also keeps, you know, InFamouS pushed back. So, for example, if Jera then was happy sitting on that 2-piece, he kind of played it in this section we're seeing right here, then he would not be able to hold InFamouS back towards A, and they could have lost out on B. But there has been a back spawn coming in for InFamouS while we've seen this, and it looks like PKD are just going all in to pick up this A flag.
Yeah, they were definitely trying to, but it knows he has something to say about it here. Picking up the first kill on Crema. Looking for that second man to be sitting in towards the flag, but it looks like he will be able to pick it up here. There's still one man in the general vicinity of it, trying to get some revives. It's going to be hissed in the backside, but he eventually does get taken down, and they will maintain that 2-to-1 hold here. And right now, again, Zuzu, he's the only man at that C flag holding on to it. We're still seeing Tony try to push up into this A flag, but it seems inevitable that he's just not going to secure it here unless they all go for the respawns on top of what they're doing.
Yeah, they are trying to push in here, but 3 men still standing from PKD defending this. I'm not sure if InFamouS thought they may rotate faster to deal with maybe C or go back to B, but at the moment, InFamouS are being mowed down by the PKD boys, already set up and waiting for them to come marching in through that one little entrance. Jera finally goes down, allowing Tony a little bit of room to breathe, getting in that respawn and looking back towards the flag.
And seen over at C flag actually went out in the 1v1 for Zuzu, so he's going to be able to cap that flag over. They're going to get the tri-cap yet again here, and look at these spawns coming in. This is probably one of the worst situations for them, even though it does open up, obviously, 2 possibilities to hit that B and A flag, but they can't pick up the kills. If they can't win these duels, how are they going to cap anything over? It's now 35-15, a 20-kill difference between these two teams, and I have to say it, but right now, InFamouS, they're just getting dunked.
Yeah, they really are right now. 116-63. These guys are just, well, you can see it time and time again. They're literally walking into these setups. They may have just broken through on A, but look how many of them it took, and look how long it's taken them. And any push out is being met by Jera, who gets the first, looks to the far, doesn't get it in the end, gets shut down by Crema. But straight away, there are players coming in for PKD, challenging them as soon as they try and walk away from these sites. So there's no easy rotates, there's no fast pickups back to back, and that is what's hurting InFamouS here. PKD are straight in their faces. Tom trying to deny anyone on this catwalk, but he's not going to be able to get up there too easily. That should be held by Tony for now. He has got the kill on towards Outsider, does go down the end, so catwalk control goes back over towards Planetkey Dynamics, and they should be able to hold on this B flag unless they get swarmed.
I feel like PKD right now, in their mindset is the best defense is a good offense, because they're just running around trying to pick up these kills. They're not even trying to necessarily hold on to these certain areas, and it's working out so damn well for them, as we're seeing Zuzu. Well, eventually does get taken down right there, but a lot of action already breaking out towards that B flag just a little bit here, and you can see nice little spread coming in for the side of PKD, and it looks like they want to go for the C cap here. And Jera, well, he will be up against Histon. We're going to see if Jera can pull this one off here, and right now you see them just, you know, buying their time. They realize we have a big lead. We're not in a hurry right now. Let's just make this, you know, very tactical and make this work.
Yeah, and I want to see what his heist can do here. He's got a 1v2 situation for me. I don't know if he's going to go for the straight challenge. Actually, does get Jared down just about. And, well, he's got backup in the form of Zuzu. Zuzu finding a nosy has claimed them back this C site. No real challenge there. But now it's going to be Kremer in trouble. He's going to have to get the respawn of Grim towards him if he wants to really challenge on A. Or maybe try and defend it. But now here comes Fire coming through. He's pinned in. He's in trouble. He tries to get away. Gets caught in the end. But look at the commitment coming out from PKD just towards A. They've left B flat out open. First time in a long time. And now Outsider could be in trouble. He's got players left, right, and center. And at the moment, it looks like InFamouS could do some damage towards here. But oh, and Nosy holding on big time. Takes down 2 players back to back. Outsider finally comes in. But InFamouS have picked up that flag.
I was just going to say, too, that InFamouS seemed to have gotten a foothold back in this game. It felt like finally being able to pick up some kills, finally able to get this 2-cap back. It's currently 31 to 84 in tickets here. Obviously, we see a cap coming in at C here, but Hiss going to be pushing over towards this A flag, it looks like. And he's going to start capping it over, but he's got a couple men around him, and he has obviously some backup out of 1 man there. It's going to be Kremer. And I think they're going to cap this one over here. So they will be able to get the BA hold now. And PKD, they're the ones fighting back for this.
Yeah, but look at PKD. Already set up on the catwalk. Already got players pushing in towards this B site. It's almost like the start all over again. PKD will be running in, but they already have the 1 setup man, allowing the likes of Outsider and Scene to keep pushing forward. You can see Outsider can be barely challenged. If anyone tries to make this shot towards him, they'll be at least, tagged up from the player on catwalk. Nice little shot does come through from Zuzu there. Maybe a little bit of lacking cover from Jera, but overall, they've claimed the flag. That is the power of this position. And once again, we are seeing them kind of falling back down towards C. They get picked up by Jera, roaming back down there. It'll be a 2-1 hold, and it looks like it might be staying around this time.
Speaking of Jerry, he's 15 for 7 right now. He is probably having one of the biggest games of his life currently, and what a perfect time to have it happen too. Trying to qualify obviously into the offline finals. Going to pick up another man right there. Zuzu does get taken down, and right now 73 to 15 tickets. He's going to pick up a second one here. Will finally drop, but it's 73 to 14 in terms of tickets. But if you look at the kills alone, like, it's pretty much 60 to 40. There's only a 20 kill difference, but there's such a huge point difference because of how well PKD's been holding on to these flags.
Yeah, it's pretty massive. Zuzu trying to go for a little bit of, I don't know, a sneaky pick up towards the end. He does take it on 1, but he almost gets naded out there himself. He will fall down eventually. But he was trying to minimize the damage basically there. That's all you can look at it like. And the tickets are getting very low here. This looks like maybe they'll walk away with minimum, I'd say, a 60 ticket lead, but coming out with a trip cap right at the end, it's going to be the whole 71. That's going to be a huge lead coming in towards that second half in just a moment's time. So brilliant play. I think Jera is the player we need to be pointing out in that one. Played a bit of a roaming role, wasn't necessarily always the one in the front line, but 18 kills there. It was a brilliant individual performance from him, but InFamouS, didn't really get into that too well. They were very slow off the start, didn't quite find their footing there. I'm not so impressed with that from them. They found their footing towards the end, but it took so long to get there.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm looking at their kills, and oddly enough, it's not as bad as it seemed just from the kill difference, between the two teams. You have Hist at 10-14. Yeah. You have Zuzu at 8-9. You have, Tony 6-11. I think Kremer, maybe had the worst KDA with 9-14. I can't do the math in my head, obviously, right now. But actually, no, it was not the worst. But it's just, you're right. It just seems like it was a really slow start by them. But it always makes me think when we see teams like this, when we're casting the cups, is this them just warming up? Obviously, they're playing before this. They're not going to go into this completely cold. But sometimes it takes you that map or takes you that half to really get things going.
I don't know. InFamouS, they seem a team that will either be absolutely on point or they won't be for me. They're either there or they're not. And on that half, they weren't quite there. So if they come out completely fresh, completely new, brilliant. But from that half, not a great start for them. A team who can be phenomenal really seem to struggle on that one. So I'm hoping they can kind of smooth out for whatever reason it went wrong. But at the moment, it looks like Planetkey Dynamics are really on point here, and they look like they want to do damage pretty much. All
right, well, we'll find out here. Let's go and drop you back in a game as we're going to obviously have them switch sides here. Now, we're going to have over on the US side, it will be InFamouS, and over on the Chinese side, we will have PKD here. And obviously, you're going to have probably the same start coming in on the side of PKD if they're going to go for that straight push into that B flag with that little bit of a boost position here. And it looks like they will, in fact. But I wonder, will InFamouS be ballsy here and contest right away? Or will they do what PKD did, sit back, relax, and then go for the retake?
I don't know if they can be. That's the thing with that. You know, the ticket deficit they have now. 71 is still a very high number.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not sure how much room they have to breathe, so we're going to find out pretty damn soon. But we're seeing the initial challenge coming down from InFamouS. This is the start I expected to see from them. They pulled this one out before. They challenged straight down on that long road, and it actually has allowed InFamouS to go in for that B site, and they've been very aggressive. They've not held back too much. All the nades though coming back in retort, but still, good start.
Look what it did. It completely caught them off guard. You see 3 men on PKD just sitting there like, okay, I wasn't really expecting them to go for that right away, and now we have to go for the retake on the Chinese side here on Dawnbreaker, which is very unusual. But right now, Jared, we tag along with him for a little bit here. He was obviously the big playmaker coming into that first half, but let's see if he can do it yet again here. Obviously, 2-1 hold right now for InFamouS, but we will find out how long that will last here as finally PKD are going to start grouping up and starting to go for those pushes that they want.
Yeah, and you are seeing the impact of these 2 players just being a complete nuisance on this catwalk area, just buying time for the rest of the side to come around the back, allowing Zuzu to do some real damage. It does get the tag, not the frag, denied in the end. And can you believe it? InFamouS are being bullied out of this after having such a strong foothold into it. They really are not making it stick, and it will be a 2-1 hold in favor to Planetkey Dynamics, turning this one right around. And
we can see that was Hiss, the last man standing for a little bit right there, and this is just Planetkey Dynamics getting the same kind of momentum that they had in the first half, just picking up the kills. Currently, it's 8-4, obviously doubling them right now, but we'll see if they can maintain this here because InFamouS, I think they've had finally an opportunity to look into the side of PKD, see their strategy, and kind of potentially work around this here. And obviously, these 2 teams have not actually met, funny enough, in any of these cups. So this is the first time they're actually going head-to-head here, at least in a competitive sense, obviously outside of scrims.
Yeah, and actually I really like seeing this, the FamouS going out for Tony there. It's been a really hit-and-miss weapon sometimes where the close-range battles just get won by that hipfire, but it looks like he's going to try and dominate over by A, and he could be in trouble as soon as the players are coming in, but they're keeping him at range. He has picked up 1. And he's looking a little bit more vulnerable. The rest of his side are dealing with B and C. Oh, he goes in without checking. And now they're going to have to see the likes of the rest of InFamouS holding on towards C without him there. Zuzu challenging out Scene, picks that one up. So C and B will stay in their control. But the one thing you're going to be worrying about is they committed so much towards C then that they've left B quite open. But actually, PKD didn't go for it.
Yeah, they have not played a little bit slower here, but what's interesting is you're seeing the side of InFamouS actually try to control the buildings exactly how PKD did in that first half, try to maintain that nice flow of control from the A towards C flags. You can run obviously quite a bit. We see that 1 man on catwalk right now, Grimjaw, trying to give him a little bit of cover from that onto that B position, and right now they're holding them off for a little bit, but PKD, they're one of those teams which I really like to see is the fact that if 1 man dies or 2 men die, they wait. They regroup, and then they go for the hit back again. They don't send 1 man in to die and then another one right off by himself. They want to play this one strategically, and right now, obviously they're not in the lead just yet, but they still have that huge ticket lead to work with.
And I want to point out what Tony was doing right there. Last time we saw him do the exact play, but he split off towards the A side. They're so desperate to get B back in their hands. He focused towards those players inside the buildings, as you mentioned, because they're being such a threat to the rest of his side. But at the moment, he did get shut down, and actually PKD did manage to pick up that B site. They've maintained the hold now on towards the catwalk area, giving outside of that position and leaving the rest of InFamouS right back down towards C. So at the moment, still a very close game, 112 tickets to 101. But let's bear in mind, if InFamouS on that US side drop below 71, they've already lost this first map. So not far to go, but it does seem very close.
Let's go back to overview real quick, because there's something I want to show you in particular. You see 1 man on the catwalk to the north side, and you saw 1 man eventually did get taken out on the catwalk between the 2 buildings, that connector. And right there, you pretty much hold down, I want to say 3/4 of the map. It's so hard to work around that because you're forced to go either through the street on the north side where you can hit from catwalk, or the south side where you can be hit from the connector between the 2 buildings. And right now it's really been shutting InFamouS down, but I like that big shove they went through. They were able to pick up a couple of kills and really open that up yet again here. But right now, you see Zuzu trying to work with 2 or 3 more teammates here onto his A5. They're maybe going to catch 1 man off here as they do pick up a kill onto a Nosy. And it looks like they will finally cap A over here, but in the meantime, they're losing control of C yet again.
Yeah, and Grim needs to get this kill pretty damn quickly. They can't afford to lose this. 92 tickets is quite low. And at the moment, every single size up for grabs. He's not just got 1 man challenge. It was 2 in the end, and Nosy did get some little bit of a backup in the form of Scene. And now he'll be back up and running. But PKD did get pushed back just to see. They lost out on A, they lost out on B, and now they're going to have to once again re-push through here. And the likes of Zuzu now being positioned specifically towards here is because Jera's been so dominant through this middle hold in these buildings. That's why he's been that big kill player. He's been doing so well here. This time 8-6 still at the top of the board for PKD, but with Zuzu focusing on this one, it's a little bit harder to break through.
And the fact that they've adapted from that first half and realized where their weaknesses were and realized, where their team's strengths were, that's really kind of made them a pretty good team so far. At least kept the score, pretty even between the two teams. But remember, they only have about 17 tickets to work with before they will drop that threshold, and they have to make something happen here. They're keeping that 2-1 hold, but they need to keep picking up the kills. They need to survive here. And obviously, PKD, as we saw in the first half, they can just play this like team deathmatch almost.
Yeah, they can. The kills become such a huge factor, and look at that, PKD straight in towards C. They knew there was a couple of players starting to edge over towards B who are being absolutely caught up and mowed down. Zuzu coming all the way back around towards C, because at the moment it's a 2-1 hold and they cannot afford that. It constantly has to be in their favor if they want a chance here. So Zuzu now hunting around desperately for the players to find, but he does go down, and that looks like C will be staying in the hands of PKD. And InFamouS might need to now start looking towards that next map.
Yeah, they definitely will be. I mean, right now they can't really go for the 2-cap. They're losing men left and right. They can't really afford to go for, reses anymore. They need those revives coming in. 73 tickets now and that should be it here. So we're going to be going into the second map, as we're going to have, obviously, Planetkey pick up this first map. It's going to be Siege of Shanghai. I've actually come to thoroughly like this map with the changes that they finally did at that B flag, where obviously one team spawned basically on top. It would have that 1-cap lead right in the beginning. Yeah,
It's become, a little bit of a different beast now. It's not quite the same anymore. And it's more about, B as the pivoting site. So whichever team holds B, they generally hold the street. And then with the street, you kind of get A in hand. So it's, the 2-1 hold is normally A and B. B being a very important site because you can rotate off it to either side. If you're being pressured from A, okay, screw it, we'll just go C and pick that one up. So B being very important, it gives you this great little back and forth on the street in between, A and C. And it's always this nice little back and forth position. And I like the way, the bigger teams like Fnatic will send that one player up to be the roaming pest towards C, just on the upper balcony, constantly shooting in the back, constantly chipping away the health, getting those spots in. And it has been worked out. The meta has been kind of found. Previously, with the way they spawned, it wasn't quite there in a competitive term. But now it's kind of got to the point where it's actually a viable option. It's nice seeing these teams finding their own, and it's very fast paced. Maybe not to the extent of, I don't know, Railway or, Storm maybe, with it constantly rotating around each other. But, it's getting there. It's certainly up there with the others, and I'm liking seeing it more in rotation. And it's still catching out a couple of teams, though. You can tell the ones who've been putting in the early work, and you can tell the ones who've kind of gone, we played this during the beta, is the only map we could play. We know this, don't worry.
Right.
Not quite the same.
As well as Lanking Dam, that's one of those maps that really has come out in the cups. And in terms of Siege of Shanghai, there's one thing that kind of annoys me about it, in terms of, obviously, whether or not you hold certain positions, is that C to A flag cap. If you hold B and A, to get towards the A flag from C, you have to take such a long run around. Yeah, you can't run straight there. You will be picked off from B or from A. And that pretty much means you have to make a push at B or commit that time. And if you commit that time and fail that cap, you're screwed. Yeah, there are a lot of, not issues, let's say, but there's a lot of choices that you can make, whether it be, okay, we go for the 4-man challenge on that little connection. Well, that's what I like, is that there is that choice. You have to make a decision. Yeah, it is very much down to the team and their play style. So I think we are almost ready to get into this one. I think the teams are getting themselves ready, so we can dive into this. And we can kind of take you through what we were talking about there and give you a little eye. We can't go through glass, I remember. This is the worst room to be in. Why would you do this to... Oh, I'm in a glass case of emotions. There we go, right? So this is the street I was telling you guys about. So this is where the action generally goes down. As B is the pivoting site, you've got A to the left, C to the right. We are into game. InFamouS will be on the US side. PKD will be on the Chinese side. So we will be seeing a massive amount of players flooding over here towards straight into A. And it looks like they might have a good chance actually on this one. Leaving that one man back, Tony, just in case anyone decides to come around. Heist more focused on the street challenging, watching the back of the rest of his side, going for the slow takeover, but they need to start getting themselves moving and winning these one-on-ones, because that's how you get into these sites. Kremer picking up the kill on towards Scene may have just opened up A. He's got one more guy ahead of him. We'll pick up... No, he won't pick up that kill. He will get taken down right there, so that will be a maintained over the side of PKD. And we have to remember is that this map was actually chosen by PKD. Dawnbreaker was chosen by InFamouS. So if they're going to choose this map, obviously you have to be fairly confident. That's one thing that we talked about so many times at the offline finals, that if you choose a map, you better be damn good at it. You better be confident in your ability to win it. But right now, we still see this push coming in just straight across the street. And this is something that I was saying, that if you're going to go for that, you're most likely going to die on that cross. But right now, They're able to successfully get in there, and they're going to get the cap.
Yeah, Heist picking up the double then gave them access pretty much. And now you can see the immediate reaction straight to B. That's the side they want to have. That's where they want to be focused themselves towards. And that's where the biggest bit of defense is coming in from the opposition. PKD trying to hold on here. Scene is doing work, but he finally goes down. 3 members still standing on this. The pressure is coming in from the street. And it's just a big full-out brawl as I believe that was a Nosy and Jared pick up a couple. And now the 1 man left in this corner will be outside tagged up from the side. So a couple of med packs down, so he should be able to hold on just for now. And it's not been a pretty takeover from the other side. They are finally getting the numbers in here. And this could be a triple cap for InFamouS coming straight out of the bat.
It's been a straight bloodbath at this B flag here. And it looks like finally InFamouS will come out ahead, picking up those 3 kills, losing 2 in the process of it, but obviously getting those revives up here. But right now, you see them push on this C flag here. You're seeing Grimjow trying to hold on to it. And he's in a 1v3 situation now, but what he's doing so smart is that he's waiting for backup. He's not going and dying right away. He's waiting for his team to come help out, and then he'll peek out. Then he'll look for a kill or 2, because with that backup coming in, they picked up 2 kills, and they stopped the cap over. They're leaving it at neutral right now, and they'll have a couple of respawns coming at the same time. And even over towards the south side, you see them get wiped over at A. So InFamouS coming out very strong here on this map.
Yeah, and the position Grim was in then was pretty much the position I was talking about, being that pest at C, constantly getting the spots, constantly being a nuisance. But actually, the whole of it, oh, beautiful pick up in the end from Tony there, taking down the opposition, even with the little pistol. But still, this is the spot right here. Kremer with the pistol as well, just holding them back. But they may have kind of overestimated and overcommitted towards C, because they're losing out on B. They're possibly going to lose out on A as well. If Jared gets these kills, he exchanges, he doesn't come out on top. And now PKD are going to try and muster themselves back together, and that could have been disastrous for InFamouS, but they are winning out on these battles 1v1. Kremer pushing in, flat out exchange could be picked up in the end by Zuzu, and now A holds strong, C stays theirs, and B will be theirs as well. Triple cap.
As you saw that push on B, what I'd love to see on InFamouS right there was the fact that it was Zuzu and it was Kremer, and Kremer went up around the side. He probably realized, I'm going to die here, but I will distract that guy long enough to allow Zuzu to get off the back, get the kill, and get the revive, because he trusted his teammate right there, and they get the 2 cap. They're trying to contest C now. If you look at the overview, they have so many men here to push them back. They are controlling them single-handedly at this point, but look at the random respawns that come in.
That's the biggest problem. Normally you send 1 player there. When you put that many people there, you get this respawn. And they're going to have to put a lot of faith in these guys here and the respawns coming through to be able to actually defend it. They do hold on, but look at the respawns. This is the problem. They're being so aggressive, they may kind of risk a little too much, but InFamouS hold strong and they hold on, defending B, defending A, and maintaining a near-on triple cap, which is now confirmed. 120 to 60 tickets. This is a big, big play from InFamouS here.
And they had a full-on squad wipe at the end of that one too. So fantastic job of them. You can see 38 to 21 in kills, and they are obviously a completely different team. Just like you were saying before, they have those core maps that they play on, and when they finally get one of those to use, or one of those to actually compete on, they look so damn good on it, and they're looking so damn different here. 120 to 47 tickets. And they're still controlling C here. They have the spawn, obviously, over for PKD over towards this north side, so they have to hit C. But as long as they can hold them off and pick up the kills, they're just racking in the points.
They really are. And this is what I was saying. InFamouS are that hit and miss team. Now, you know, this strategy may not work against the big dogs like your Fanatics, who just work out that, well, they're pushing this aggressively. Screw C, we're going to go around the long way. We'll take that time for the sake of 1 pickup, which would be A or B. But, you know, with maybe PKD not being that experienced, they're just running headfirst into these guys. And we're seeing a massive lead. And that's going to be a CA hold, probably going to be picked up on back towards B. And it's another triple cap. Every single threat is being dealt with InFamouS being, you know, fast and loose, let's say. They're playing, you know, a very hard game of Battlefield to maintain.
They really, it's just straight on aggression between both these teams, as we're seeing. I mean, obviously, like you said before, PKD, they're pretty much bullheading straight into InFamouS here, hoping to actually break some ground, but they're getting killed left and right as you're seeing them. CC Nation pick up 1 kill, but it immediately gets returned right back on him here, and they have finally kept over A, yes. But they have 16 tickets left to go here. They need to just minimize the amount of damage that they're going to take here in this first half, and hopefully come up with something that's semi-comebackable, if that's even a word, into the second.
Yeah, if you're coming up against a team with over 100 tickets, you know you're in trouble. Like, okay, anything less you feel is manageable. You've seen it happen before, and you're like, okay, well, we can deal with this. At the moment, 116 tickets with a 2-to-1 hold should be maintaining around this level. They're locked down towards A. As you mentioned before, C's a long way away. B is not an easy side to pick up. That is a massive lead coming in for InFamouS. They're the team that I was knowing could be a threat. Now, I do want to kind of have a little look here. I think there's 116 tickets. Let me just have a little quick check of these kills right here, because that was a very big game. And look at that. Every single player was positive as well. So 17-4, 15-4, 13-4, 7-4, and 7-5 are the lowest ones you're going to be getting there. PKD didn't have much to do, to be fair. InFamouS just straight out of the bat looking dangerous. You know, they played dangerous Battlefield almost. You know, they over-rotated at times. You know, they put players, you know, up towards C. Normally you'd see one player where Grim was. So that's the position you may see too easy in, or kind of these players who are the instant damagers, the ones who can really get in their faces. But they put like 2 or 3 players up there, you know, constantly pushing them. And on a map that there is always that option to send someone on a long rotate.
Right.
It's dangerous. You know, one of the, you know, the PKD players could go, okay, well, we're not going to win this exchange. Guys, this may take me a minute, but I'm going to get around towards the back of A. So guys, just wait for the respawn. When, you know, when you guys go down, let's say on C, and they push 3 players up, respawn on me, and we'll get this flag, and we'll push through the map the right way. They didn't take the time. They said, okay, let's just challenge them head on, because eventually we'll break through. But eventually was at 116 tickets, basically. So it didn't happen in the end. And, you know, that's the danger of playing kind of for the fast and loose challenge rather than the long route around.
Well, the funny thing was is that PKD, they had the technical better spawn, you know, over towards A and B, and yet they didn't really do much with it. Yeah, they got the early 2-hold, and they saw InFamouS going for that long rush around towards that A flag, and they were able to shut it down. But from there, they just seem to have fallen. And right now, I believe we are waiting for Jared to reconnect here, so this one's not going to be live.
We can kind of take you through what we're talking about with those long rotates as well, because, you know, sometimes you don't see it too often. So, you know, as we said, when you're pinned down towards C, there's not many options to have. And you can go for the head-on challenge, which, as we saw for PKD, didn't work out too well. So the long way around, I don't want to teach you guys simples, but, you know, it literally is down this road. And you have to hope that you don't get spotted and picked up on this cross. Once you get around here, if you play it safe, you can get into a perfect spot to pretty much get those respawns in, because you've got a nice little route through towards A. You can send a couple around the back, or you can wait your way through the buildings, and then you can come back around. What is that?
It's a play.
Where is it? I must watch
I know,
this.
I was watching on my screen.
Damn it. But yeah, that's pretty much the route you can take. Going all the way down here, playing it smart, and playing for the long play. And don't get me wrong, you can try and do it over at B, but you have to go through B, which is the bigger issue, because you'll generally have a player or 2 sitting around the back there. So it can happen either way. It's kind of hard to tell, you know, is that worth us taking our time? Is it worth us going that long route around? And that is a dangerous Siege of Shanghai. Sometimes you do have to take that minute. Sometimes you do have to play for the long run rather than the immediate effect.
And one thing that we saw in that first half was the fact of how dominating controlling B is. Like, that is the point. If you can hold on to that, it is so hard to break towards anything, because you have, obviously, that mid-spawn to go towards A, to go towards C. You have so many routes to hit both. Obviously, you don't have that long run from C to A, you know, going around the outside like you just showed. They can run around that backside, same for them, obviously on the other side of the map, or they can just run straight in down the middle part of the map, where they have control of it anyways because of maintaining that B flag. But right now, they're going to be swapping sides here. It looks like we will be going live in just a few seconds. And it's do or die time. Well, it's not do or die time for PKD. But you know they don't want to go 3 maps. You know they want to take an easy route here, pick up this early win, and then go into the winner's match and hope to secure their spot into the finals from there.
Yeah, because let's be serious here. I'd say that this map's a little bit more similar to Paracel Storm, you know, in the way that it's fast rotates here. So that's not live. But we can watch this for a little while. Backflips with a nosy. There we go. But while we do wait, as I was saying, you don't. I feel the Siege of Shanghai with the close range actual battles, unless you do take that long rotate, is a little bit more similar to Storm than it is Dawnbreaker. Dawnbreaker does have the options, and actually visually, if you look at it on the overview map, it's quite similar. But, you know, the fast-paced rotates that we saw coming through apply a little bit more to the likes of Storm. So if we see InFamouS picking this up, which is quite likely, a 116 ticket lead, there could be trouble for Planetkey Dynamics. And, you know, PKD, I'd say on paper, I'd put them above InFamouS. And, you know, by results and positioning, it's true. You know, Planetkey were in 6th, InFamouS in 9th. So it's a big difference there. Hopefully this game will get underway. I do apologize, guys. They're just restarting the map, I believe, to get the right sides. I'm not 100% sure. We'll check once we get into game. But it does maintain that PKD will have the challenge on their hands, let's say, after such a strong start.
And speaking of past results, I mean, Planetkey Dynamics, they've beat MYM 2-1. You know, they've even got to the semifinals in cut number 2, where unfortunately InFamouS didn't even get past the quarterfinals. They were stuck in it twice. Obviously, they went up against Pyrogen in one of them, taking it 1-2, lost against Fnatic 0-2. I mean, it's a little bit difficult to get past those teams, but past results definitely in Planetkey Dynamics' favor here, and I think this is probably a map they're looking at like, you know what, we probably lost this one. We can give it a, a strong early go in the first, the first initial push, but if it's looking bad, then let's just look towards that next map because that's where the eyes have to be.
Yeah. So we're gonna see how this one goes down.
Just show me a movie. Is this a movie?
I was waiting for the cat to walk across because it makes me happy.
I like the gorilla or the monkey.
Yeah. Okay, so we are into game. InFamouS will be on the Chinese side. PKD will be on the US side, and, well, it's the same. It's a very similar start coming through here. Actually, not as many people committed over towards A straight away, so you can see those engineers in play, holding these guys back, removing the cover from the Chinese side, but still, the cover coming east side from InFamouS is pretty damn big. Big play from Kremer. They're coming out absolutely fighting 2 big kills back-to-back, helping out to claim this B site so early on, and this could be a very quick game if it keeps up like this. Already, InFamouS looking dangerous.
Yes, they are. That was a fantastic play right there, too, because he was able to pick up the kills, and they were able to get the revives on top of that. But right now, there's a big push happening over towards A. I believe Tony, he realizes something's up here. There's 2 men on that flag, and I think he's going to try to wait for a couple of respawns and then go for the hit here, while in the meantime, they're pushing C at the exact same time here. So he's trying to maybe drag them away from A and take the back cap.
Do you remember what I said about taking the long route sometimes? It looks like InFamouS are happy doing that. They went around the long way, he waited on the respawn, and now he picks it up. Completely clean flag because PKD already started to walk away from it. Jera now has to come back around. He does have support, but Heist is there as well. Tony now needs to be careful. He does get the little bit of support coming through. Finally, the action does come down, and obviously Heist round the back will pick that one up. He's got the nades coming through. He does get the tag, not the frag. He finally takes down Scene, and they will pick up A, but B has gone PKD's way, which is the important flag to pick up to rotate from. But it should be a 2-to-1 hold, but it's been a clean exchange on C, so neither team walking away with the advantage, but picking up B gives you that easy rotate towards C, so there should be a 2-to-1 to PKD.
Yeah, it definitely should be right now, and they need this because, as you mentioned before, 116 tickets is that threshold, and basically if they lose out, he's not even a man can get shot in the back. That's what you get for doing that. Mannequin did nothing. But they need to pretty much go for this push here. If they fail on one of these pushes, they have maybe one good chance left at that point. And if they fail that one, it's going to be over. I mean, that's how one side this first half has been. Just one bad move right now for PKD, and that will take us to a map number 3.
Yeah, and PKD is struggling to break out from that B site. Even though it's a more advantageous position to hold, if you can't get through on these positions onto these sites, winning those one-on-ones, you're in trouble. And right now, Tom going on his own round towards C, maybe not the ideal way, but they are trying to bait out towards the A site and C being pressured at the same time, but both players being picked up. And this 2-to-1 hold is going to start hurting PKD, especially when they're not picking up the kills. Scene on the long way around, decides to go for the frag rather than going for the cap, and that is going to hurt him severely. He could have come around here. Luckily for Outsider, he will pick up the spawn, but they're going to try and go for C. And look at this. B is getting low, and the tickets have just trickled below it. And just kills alone, and pressure from InFamouS has picked them up this map, and we're going to be going to a 3rd map. No way about it. That was just, phenomenal play from InFamouS then.
I feel like you had that whole half yourself. Because that's how quick it went.
It was literally like, so 1, 2, 3, okay, 1. Pretty much how it happened there. Ouch.
Well,
I feel kind of bad, for PKD, but they got outplayed.
Yeah, I mean, they looked so damn strong in the first half of Dawnbreaker, and we thought this could probably be a 2-0 for them, but then they just get completely dunked on, obviously, Siege of Shanghai. It's just, it really was, and now we're going to Paracel Storm.
Would it be a slam dunk or just a dunk? I think it was a slam dunk on the first.
I think it was an alley-oop dunk.
Alley-oop.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it was. They played perfect Battlefield, obviously, in that game. They completely ignored the first map and went to the second with a fresh new mindset. But now Paracel Storm, you touched on a little bit earlier on. This is going to be a toughie. I think you were in favor of InFamouS a little bit in this map.
I was, just because of the way they played that first half on Siege of Shanghai. That was very, very dominant. That was something we hadn't seen from them on the first map, at least. They didn't look as good. And I do recall it being the other way around almost previously, that they were very good on Dawnbreaker. I may be mistaken, to be fair, but I'm sure they were strong on Dawnbreaker, and then that really looked kind of shaky that time around. So I don't know what's happened with these guys. Maybe putting their time into different maps, picking things up they didn't have before, and now it may be like, okay, well, we worked on maybe Shanghai a little bit too much and we didn't put enough attention back to the basics, but we'll find out. It's a whole new map. And the one thing I really feel with these two teams is it's completely map dependent,
Yeah.
And we're going to have to find out here because I think we're getting ourselves ready. I'm not too sure. I need to check.
What's interesting about this map is, and I think we can drop you into the game actually, is that there's 2 things that we saw in previous maps that benefit each team differently. So the slow, long rotate from B to A, going really far around the outside into the trenches. That's something that InFamouS did really well, obviously, as we saw before. But then you get the fact of Dawnbreaker, where PKD did so well at holding that catwalk and plus the connector between the 2 buildings. you can obviously hold the same kind of positions here on this map as well between A and C. So right now, I think it comes down to who gets the favorable 2 cap in this.
Yeah, and to be fair, what do they consider favorable? I've seen a lot of teams doing unorthodox things now. You know, this map used to be, okay, well, B is the important side to have because, you know, you can pretty much control the vast majority of the map off the back of it. Now, some would say, okay, well, we like having C in hand because, you know, it's I don't know, it's a little bit easier if you hold... Now, if you hold this building right here, you have a nice little view over it. We can, you know, maintain a little bit of cover. We can watch if they get this back spawn around the backside here, which is, you know, a random spawn that comes in, or it's the one that you get that you don't want normally.
The thing
and
about
you can mow it down from this position.
It's just like out there. It's just like, eh.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's like the developer's like, let's just throw a dart at the map and all right, that's where C is or something. Because it's just, it literally is just way out there. It seems like not really worth to rush to.
Yeah, but then again, you look at A. A is holding. Okay, if you're on A, you're pretty much safe from this position. I normally say, you know, we'll generally see people in this spot holding it, maybe a one player.
Yeah.
Right. So there's that. But you generally don't see any teams holding it from inside these houses. That's not what it is because a lot of these houses now get taken down by that engineer class coming through and being a little bit more of a viable option. Not many people, you know, look out because there's so much cover to be had here. You know, so many of these positions, even down in the trenches, are completely unavoidable to players in that sort of spot. So. For me, I always feel it's a BC hold, but then, you know, it's completely team dependent. You know, whichever team wants to pick up the sites they like. So it's down to those guys, and at the moment, I'm not sure who's going to be walking away from this. If you'd seen one map and not 2 of them, you'd be completely up in the air with which team you wanted to, you know, win this. Or you'd be like, okay, well, I already tuned in and I only saw Siege of Shanghai. Well, of course this is going to go InFamouS's way.
Exactly.
If you saw Dawnbreaker as well, you'd be like, well, I have no idea. And this is the big thing here. Both teams very talented. Both teams certainly versed very well in this map. It's one of the ones that gets played so often now. And I just want to see what we get in straight from the start. I can imagine it's going to be the straight pickup for PKD towards C and challenging out on A a little bit, but they may go for the building kind of possession and try and challenge B as well. So I'm not sure. PKD, I feel, have the better spawn for this, so they can kind of drag it from there on. But we'll see. We'll see what they go for straight away. And I'm looking forward to it at least.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and kick this one off right now. It's going to be the first half of the final map here. And for anyone that was wondering, that wasn't checking out the other game, Fnatic did win 2-0. So then we'll be advancing on through the winner's game to play against the winner of this one to determine the first team qualified through this. But look at this push on A. We have 2 on each team here. Going to be very aggressive, looking for that first kill. And you're seeing Planetkey playing a little bit more passive here, playing a little bit more slower. And that's what I like to see, a little adaptation from the prior maps and InFamouS. So looking for that first kill with PKD. They're going to get it. And then will be one man in the trenches. He will return it, but there's going to be a guy right behind him. They get the respawns as well. And the guy coming from the back won't pick up the 2. They will at least shut down the push for a little bit longer here, and they will lose out potential on C, because at the meantime, I believe we did see, who is that man? That's Tony, went out in a 1v1 for the cap. Yeah,
good early play there, actually, coming from InFamouS. Not writing it off, even though they had the disadvantage, but they may lose out on C here as Jera has come through. But look at the amount of players they've kind of put over towards claiming that 1C site. Tom and the others within this singular building have to do some real cover work towards that B side, because it's being claimed over right now by the likes of Heist, who are just playing smart, playing from the back, knowing where they're vulnerable from, and playing to that. These med packs are keeping them alive right now, and they have picked up that B side. C is also in danger. That's been won over by Zuzu. This is going to be a triple cap for InFamouS. This is them looking good. They may lose out on B, but they've got players in the back here, and they're just going to wait on the respawn, see which side gets hit first. It looks like they want to kind of reinforce A a little bit, reinforce C a little bit, and then work from them.
And one random spawn all the way out of who the hell knows where. As you see Heist now coming in for the backside, picks up a nice kill. That random respawn coming in perfectly for him, picking up that nice little an advantage here. But I think he knows there's one more man in that build. You can see him off to his side, get throw some nades around the corner, look for some damage. We'll charge in, we'll pick up the kill, and that will give him full control of that building.
Very well played as well. That'll give him good cover towards C until you can see the likes of Outsider will be challenging. The Storm now coming in. It is looking good already for InFamouS. Outsider looking for a way through. He needs to clear this building pretty quickly.
Wow.
Heist just holds on 110%. Tom from afar gets the kill towards Heist finally, but not without picking up any sides. They've only got B, and B is being lost out on. Zuzu pushing in. But the big question is, can Kremer hold on towards A? He's got Scene pushing in. C knows where he may be, and he's completely ignoring him. Respawns coming through. Nades being layered in. Scene has to play smart. It's being held in place. This 2-to-1 hold is going to start hurting. And look at this. 4 players here, and none of the opponents near it, but no one's challenging down. Scene's in trouble, though. He's taken down Kremer. He's held on, but the nades finally come through, and InFamouS will manage to maintain A, unless Jera can do something about it.
That makes no sense, because all you had was Zuzu capping B, and there's 4 men in those buildings. He got the cap and walked away. Eventually got killed, yes, but why didn't they send anyone out of the buildings to go stop that? I mean, I guess they kind of didn't know how many people were there, but that was maybe a major mistake coming out of PKD here. But right now, we do see 3 men actually get the respawns in towards the backside. See InFamouS looking hold on to it here. They're going to let it get actually capped over, maybe wait for some people to rotate away. But you can see right now, Planetkey Dynamics, they're waiting for them to push into this, and it's a 3-on-1. They're going to charge him straight down, and he will get taken out here. So we're going to see the 2-cap go back in favor here for the side of InFamouS over towards the safe flag.
And Heist just took down Outsider in a position that you see is literally specifically made to hold on to that. Zuzu picking up the 2 kills there with the Sport of Grim has allowed them to basically get a triple cap if they want it here. If they're quick enough to pick these up, they're going to get it. And the man on your screen right now, Heist, has been pivotal. He's been picking up those singular kills towards the singular building out here, and he's just been gifting them this game. If he's not been doing that, he's been picking up the B site. Right now, it's not going to be him actually trying to hold on here. I'm not sure who it is within that building. Now it's 2 players. Tony's up there, a couple of other guys, and Tony pushing out, trying to hold on towards this B site. This 2-to-1 hold is going to really start hurting PKD. They've just walked away. See, oh, nice work from Tony around the back there. Gets a revive on Kremer as well. And with Heist going down on the backside, they can work out where these spawns are coming in from Outsider and Jera. Brilliant play. And
they're already up 40 tickets right now, and they're showing no signs of stopping currently. Yeah, they did lose out in C, but they don't really care because they're still maintaining this 2-to-1 hold, and there's going to be a little bit of a fight breaking out right there, as you're seeing Kremer just always in the right place at the right time, it seems. But fortunately, right when I say that, the commentator's curse, he does go down, being in a bad position. But we did actually have, if you take a look at the overview, Zuzu and Inozi walked right past each other. And now you see Zuzu capping over C, you see Inozi go for the cap on an ace, so they're going to switch that one over. But big kills coming over towards B, as you can see. That positioning in the buildings is just, it's been too strong. And if Inozi gets taken down here, this is going to be terrible.
Yeah, that would have been a complete squad wipe. It pretty much was, because Inozi didn't even do any damage picking up A. He was so passive, waited so long, he didn't go for it immediately. It's been allowed to be a triple cap. So A is being challenged out in the end by Scene, but still, that was just not ideal play at all. Inozi took a little bit too long, and now they've been forced out to these kind of out of sights. And with only 58 tickets left, PKD needs to do something. They should be walking away with a 2-to-1, but whether or not they can maintain that with the likes of Tony in this position, watching the push down, allowing Heist to move up with Kremer towards C, I don't think they can maintain here. And I think those tickets are going to be taken away from them very, very quickly.
We went from a 40-ticket lead to a 70-ticket lead in the matter of a minute. Like that's how big that play was by them. And right now they're still going for that 2-cap here. We see Outsider, the only man standing, no response coming off him just yet. He will get taken down, and that will be that BEC hold yet again on the side of InFamouS here. And we can take a look over towards the south side. Actually, 2 men swinging around. Scene and Jera looking for that push on a B here. They got to win out these fights if they want to have anything to do about it. And Scene will get taken down, and I believe that will be Outsider actually being taken down as well. Jera does fall, so they even went for some respawns on top of that. And right now, PKD, they're struggling for something.
They have no control here, absolutely none. They've been maybe getting 1 player out towards A, maybe a couple out towards C every now and then, but they've had no setup to maintain. They've had no hold within those buildings in the center of this map, and that's why they've been taken down. Look at the fire coming in just towards Inozi there, getting taken down to 50 HP just trying to travel to this site. He's finally got support with the likes of Jera coming through, so they could maybe be able to maintain now, but whether or not they can keep blocking these sides down, or maybe it's just a little bit too late, because InFamouS, look at those tickets, 113 to 37. They've got A firmly. They may lose out on B, but they've got Zuzu in a good spot here. If he can get these kills, oh, perfect work. Takes down Jera. And now there's still 1 more man within this building, I'm pretty sure. He's going to have to take these guys down. He doesn't get it in the end. Outsider will hold on. There's been no challenge from PKD towards B. They've been trying to tell each other to attack this, but they just haven't done it. They've been so caught up trying to challenge down these guys for frags. They've even completed this heist moving in towards C.
I think one thing that InFamouS is doing right now that's completely 110% better than PKD is the fact of their respawns. They're using them so damn smart-like, and every time they get overran somewhere, a person's immediately, boom, ready to get in there, ready to help out, and ready to turn things around. And they've been winning out these fights because of it. They just lost 2 or 3 men on the side of PKD over towards that B flag here, and it's looking like we're going to see at least a 100-ticket difference here in this first half, Lauren.
This is massive play from InFamouS, a team that I know can be hit and miss, but this is the last stand pretty much for PKD. If they do not chip away at this, they still can, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think they're in a position to do so. The tickets are getting too damn low, and PKD, they've just been outgamed by InFamouS here. 4 tickets remain, there's nothing to really be done. This is absolutely unbelievable play from InFamouS. It wasn't even the kills that gave them this game. InFamouS didn't, do overly well on the kills. It was the positioning, it was the constant outplaying that they pulled off. It was absolutely phenomenal. These guys were on point.
They were. They definitely were. And
Yep.
we saw that last little bit of a push coming in from PKD. They were all coming from the outside, working in. And I think it was InFamouS constantly held control of that center spot. And they were acting like a turret, like all of them. Like you mentioned before, if there's one man in that single building watching towards C, helping out, spotting anyone he possibly can. You have the 2 people or 1 or 2 people in the double buildings constantly looking around. And they pretty much made it so PKD could not actually penetrate in towards that center line.
Pretty much. The only way they could have done it was actually taking down, whoever was playing in that singular building.
Yeah.
And then let's say InFamouS actually didn't have it, they got overrun by whatever means, their retakes with Zuzu coming in and heist hitting shots that you don't normally see just made it impossible almost for PKD to do anything there.
Let's show you their kills real quick too, because this is something you just pointed out, is the fact that it wasn't that heavily in favor of InFamouS. I mean, 10-7, 10-5, 6-6, 9-4. That's not outstanding scores. It's not like what we saw Jera 15-7 on Dawnbreaker. Like that just shows how well they're outplaying them.
Yeah, it literally is. It's all down to tactics alone. There's nothing more to say about the matter. It's the way they played it. Every single kill that they got was an important one. It was there's no just phenomenal kind of, I don't even know. There's no phenomenal way they played. It was just, very, very intelligent way of playing this map. And it's the way that we expect to see it done. As we said, hold in the singular building. Okay, let's say we lose that. All right, we'll send 2 players back up here. We'll work down from whatever spawn we have. We'll focus here, try and maybe take B, push a couple towards C, maybe leave a singular out towards A. They've always been on point. So anyway, InFamouS, huge advantage on the US side here. PKD will be on the Chinese side. And look at it this way. You start with 150 tickets. If they lose 40, they're pretty much screwed, PKD. There's not much more to say about that. Any 2-to-1 hold that stays with InFamouS's hands for more than, let's say, a minute, I'd say game over.
And obviously, the loser of this will go up against Wartime Dignity in a match a little bit later on today. And the loser of that match will be completely out. Obviously, the winner of that one will still have a second chance, even if they do not win up on the second one. But right now, we're kicking this one off for the second half here. And we're going to find out, can InFamouS hold on to this lead that they've been able to build up and secure it in a 2-1 fashion? Or will PKD be able to come back? And right now, as you're seeing, a lot of action and a lot of flags over on that blue side.
Yeah, indeed. B is kind of in battle over right now. InFamouS dodging around. They're not got any immediate challenges. There's going to be PKD walking away with A, but still a 2-to-1 hold coming right off the bat for the InFamouS side. Tom, bit of a cheeky position. He's going to be in a spot to kind of make the challenge, but look at that one out straight away by Grim. He's going to be denying that one, leaving Outsider in a world of trouble, surrounded by the opposition, taken down. And now C is in trouble. Jaren knows where the threat's going to be coming from. He does take down Grim in a great shot there, so maybe there is life left, but will he expect Heist coming in from the side?
Oh, Nade will come in. Looks like Jared didn't expect that, and we will see potentially a trade. No, actually, we'll put a couple more respawns in there, but then you see one more man come from the side as well as respawns for there. And Tom will get taken down. Grimjaw working onto Jared here, looking for the kill. Jared will get taken down, and now you have only the man of Outsider to really do anything about it here. Over towards the outskirts of the C flag, and it's going to be a 2-to-1 hold, and they need to do something quick. They can't afford to die either. They need to pick up these kills. They can lose pretty much just in a team deathmatch fashion at this point. And you see Nosy able to pick up a nice kill into the trenches there over towards A. They will hold on to that. But look, there's no one even at B right now. They don't care about B. They are just bringing the fight to PKD.
And they know how they're going to win. If they keep doing that, they're going to pick this one up. 126 tickets left with PKD. They're getting down low. Not much more work left for InFamouS to really do here. Any more kills are going to start hurting. Only 3 players on the board, and I'm surprised we made it to the Storm coming in, because right now PKD, GG's already being said. They know they can't do this. They can't do it. The respawn's pretty much. PKD would have to pull off the perfect game, but I think even they know it's too little too late. GG well played, as said. PKD from the very start there, just being outgamed, outshone, and InFamouS showing that they can be damn good.
And that's the downside, or the upside, depending on what team you're rooting for, of getting that big of a lead in the beginning. Because if you win that first initial trade, it's over. If you lose that first initial trade, it's still over.
That's the big thing here. But the thing you have to look at it, the way I always look at it is, if a team's done it against us, we can do it to them. It's still possible. There's always a possibility, but we have to play that perfect game.
It's the mental game.
It is. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. And coming with a deficit of 110 tickets, it's not easy to work from now. Teams like Fnatic, or maybe your Epsilons, your top teams have that mentality drilled into them very early on of how to deal with that sort of strain, where it's okay, whether it be in any other game, whether it be round by round, kill by kill, flag by flag. It's making sure you're looking at these small little victories and then aiming for the bigger battle, and that's where it builds into. But sometimes it's a little bit too much. But InFamouS, brilliant performance on those last 2 maps.
Well, that will mean, though, unfortunately for PKD, they will be going up against Wartime Dignity a little bit later on, and we will have InFamouS going up against Fnatic here when we come back from this break. So when we do, we're going to see, can InFamouS take the big dogs? Can they take down Fnatic? Or will Fnatic be that first team qualifying through into the offline finals? We'll be back in a few.